Hello and welcome to My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. Oh, what a game. Seesaw kind of game, just the game this World Cup needed. It's been absolutely fantastic. The result didn't come till pretty much the very last over. You were still thinking, okay, fine, the second last. But they did play the 50th, which means that Mr. Zaheer Khan sits on the My 11th Circle expert couch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's your feels? How's the feelings?
Very comfortable.
I thought it's the same couch.
No, just because you get your prediction right, it feels comfortable.
You're sitting basically on a cushion and then you're sitting on the air of confidence. That's why it's more comfortable for you. Which is good.
I heard this couch you don't really like. Any particular reason?
Yeah, you know what happens, I'll tell you. So, you know, when you're like 12 years old and you're in school, you have your first crush and the girl doesn't like you, then you also say, I don't like that girl. It's the equivalent of this. The relationship between the couch and me is a bit like that. But the relationship between Pakistan and winning ODIs was a bit like that. Today that has changed, Robin. It changes. They love each other.
Yep, it definitely has changed. Good for them. I think they played proper cricket today.
Yeah.
I think it was a proper team effort. I think that's what brought that victory today for them.
Yeah, it's so good that you say proper team effort, because you think about the chasing team. They had to get 349. They got 200s. Pakistan didn't get any. There's 2 centuries for England, and yet they are on the losing side by 14 runs, which is what Robin is saying, that the Pakistan batting effort was a team effort. Everybody got runs. For England, unfortunately, it was those 2 who got the big scores. They needed one more 60-70 kind of score coming from somewhere. But it was just after those 2 wickets went, Root and Butler, soon after their centuries, it just looked like it was going to be Pakistan's game. But Zach, when the 2 of them were playing, you really thought they had completely set it up for an England win.
They did. I think, Joe Root, the catch was dropped. And after that, I think in this match, it was a tale of catches being dropped and batsmen going on to get big scores.
Though that was a tough one, just for like we just have to say, it was a tougher one than the one Jason Roy dropped off Hafiz.
Yeah, it was still a chance missed.
Fair enough.
Right? so I think from Root, it looked like one of them, Jos Buttler or Root, needed to stay till the end, or at least till 45th, 46th over, for them to set the platform for the back end. But credit has to go to the bowlers. You look at Pakistan bowlers. All of them have contributed. They stayed in the game even though there was partnership happening, which is not easy. And especially when you have that kind of a run, which you're talking about, like 11 losses on the trot is not easy. You can easily go back in that kind of mindset, the negative mindset, which can affect. The shoulders can drop. But the intensity from Pakistan fielding side, all the 11 didn't look like they've given up hope. They always knew that they're in the game. It's just a matter of taking that wicket, and they hung in there. There were a few missed chances as well, but we spoke about the 5th bowler. So 5th bowler here, 10 overs, has gone for 53 runs and has picked up 2 wickets. So that's the decider, and we spoke in the mid innings as well that fifth bowler contribution is going to be vital.
10 overs, 53 runs, 2 wickets.
They contributed beautifully.
Yep.
And look at Hassan Ali as well. 10 overs, 66 runs. But that one phase when Root and Butler was batting, they were going strong, and he bowled that one spell. Even though he doesn't have wickets to show, but I think he built that pressure at that stage. That spell was very crucial. Wahab was very impressive. Figures are not doing justice to what he has actually done. Few tricks were missing from Pakistan captain as well. He could have had those slip in place at times. Because you knew that at that stage they needed wicket, they needed something to happen, and those were the runs leaked for Wahab. So that's why the figures are not doing justice to what has been shown. But on the whole, I think the fight was there from Pakistan playing 11. They wanted the victory badly, and it showed. It showed through and through. This was the kind of effort which was required and expected from Pakistan to turn things around. And when you do it against one of the best side in the tournaments, it goes a long way. So I think it's good for the World Cup at this stage. The points table is pretty crowded now.
Yeah.
Most of the teams have taken 2 points, which is
Except India, who hasn't even
sign.
played yet, is sitting twiddling their thumbs saying, "Bhai, apna time aayega."
That's exactly what they must be saying right now.
Yeah, they're looking at teams playing their second game. Every team has pretty much played their second game. India's still waiting to make their debut. But to Zach's point, you were saying that they kept it, like they kept that energy high in the field. I think it's at one point in time there was Sarfaraz captaining, Hafiz captaining, and they were both captaining at like cross purposes one day. Well, it's just excitement in the
Yeah,
field.
there was a lot of excitement on the field, and I think you brought it up while we were watching the game that when things are getting a little going towards this, Pakistan side, you could see Sarfaraz was a lot more animated at that point in time. So I think Hafiz's influence also was important at that point in time. You need someone to kind of calm them down and say, hey, everything's going well. You got to stay calm and make the right decisions now.
Has this ever happened to you on the field sometimes when there's extreme excitement and the captain's telling you to go somewhere and somebody else is telling you to go in the opposite direction and you're there going, I don't want to be caught in the middle of this. Where do I go?
You always go where the captain asks you to go.
Yeah.
Safest thing to do.
But this can happen, right?
Yeah.
On a field, sometimes people are just getting excited.
especially with the Indian team also, a lot of times you'll see that the whole conference happening there, if the game is in a limbo, tough situation, you have to get the right bowler on. There will be like 3-4 players having a discussion there. With many teams you'll see that. That's something which is very normal on a cricket field.
Yeah. Do you actually then call this? Because I know like yesterday there was a lot of debate. People said, oh, it's an upset. Bangladesh has beaten South Africa. There was another sort of lobby that said, no, it's not an upset because Bangladesh has done really well at ICC tournaments and they're just underrated. Is today, going on current form, going on what has happened in the bilateral series, is today an upset? Is Pakistan beating England actually a kind of an upset?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yep. Definitely.
Because sure favourites England going into this game, weren't they?
Yep. Given where Pakistan are on current form, this was definitely an upset.
Yeah,
Sure.
so how does this affect England now? Because England is saying, all right, we had the measure of them when they were here. There was 4 one-days, one rained out. We won everything. Today is the day then we should have actually carried that on. Can this affect them in a way, because they are such champion chasers, to go, all right, listen, man, it was on 350, we do this. This is bread and butter for us. What happened today?
So England still has 7 games.
Yeah.
And that's something, the caliber of the team which is seen for the last couple of years. I think they have enough in them to go through. So I don't think by that logic is going to affect their campaign that much. But yes, they will have some homework to do, and they'll take some notes from the match. Fielding was certainly today was a little patchy by their standard. I think they've set very high standard in the field. You've seen some brilliant pieces of work today in the field by English players, particularly Wokes. But on the whole, I think there's something which was missing. Some overthrows, one catch being dropped. So when you set such high standard, these kind of things affect your morale.
Yeah.
So those are the things which they'll have to go back to the drawing drawing board and figure that, okay, what is the right way, prepare well in that regard. With regard to bowling, maybe the planning, like I was mentioning earlier, going overboard with the short ball is something, which you have to find the right balance according to the situation and not really get excited by which team you are playing and what's been their previous match. Because when someone has a bad day out there, they're also working things out. They're also planning. They're expecting what other teams will be planning against them, and that's something was a classic example today, isn't it? Like Pakistan looked prepared. That they were expecting English bowlers to bowl short at them. They were ready for it. They were more prepared. So it was just a predictable planning. Also can go against.
Yeah, and not going to a plan B, seeing that when Pakistan had figured it out, they didn't go to a plan B. But so that's about their bowling, and of course, their fielding, and they've got to do that. But let's just bring the attention to England's batting, because this batting, we've been talking about this batting lineup. It's a famed batting lineup. It's got power hitters. They're batting up till 10. It's set up so nicely, right? You go, all right, Root and Buttler have done the hard work for us. They've got it down to 8 or 9 to get 6-7 overs between Moeen and Wokes and Archer with his bat and Rashid, who's got, first class half centuries. You're going, all right, man, these guys should get it from here. They've done it before. We've done it. This famed batting lineup, if it fails, does that does that puncture England a bit? Because that's what we've been talking about, right? This whole world's talking about. This batting lineup can get 400, 450. Can this really put a slight question mark, or let me rephrase that question, get other bowling teams slightly excited, going, all right, guys, it's okay, we may get 320, 330, we're not out of the game. Even if they get a century stand, two guys get hundreds, we're not out of the game. Even if they need 60, 70 off the last 8 overs.
Well, yeah, I definitely think that's right.
Yeah.
But I don't think England would be worried at this point in time, right? They've played so well over the last 10, 12, 15 one-day internationals. They're bound to have fallen short at some point, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have to fall short at some point, and the law of averages will catch up with you at some point. You know, it will even out at some point. So I don't think they'll be too worried about this, but I think they might have a look at the batting order when they're chasing scores.
Okay.
I think maybe they might think about sending Joss Buttler ahead of Stokes, so that there's a little bit of batting left when Buttler gets out, if he gets out. Because in a situation like today, you know, the game was, it seemed like it was going out of England's way, and then Joss Buttler came in a bat, really came in and really got control of the game, took control of the game, took the game almost away from Pakistan at a stage, and then when Root got out, you knew it was a matter of taking Buttler out. Once you got Buttler out, you knew you were in the game.
Yeah.
But if in a situation like today, instead of Ben Stokes, Buttler came in a bat and batted the way he did, and one of them got out, you still have a caliber of Ben Stokes coming after you.
Ah, interesting.
You know, so that
So have a little adaptability, which they don't usually show in their batting lineup.
So if they do that, I think it will give them like a sense of flexibility to actually run down scores as well. You know, batting first, yeah, maybe you can send Stokes above Joss Buttler, but running down scores, given the way he's batting right now, you can have just another backup for him, you know, just in case he gets out.
Joss Buttler, actually, with his performance today, is also our most valuable player on my 11 circle. That's because he got his 103 runs in 76 balls. There's 9 fours and 2 sixes there. Some supreme hitting. Super in control. Never looks like he's losing his shape. Goes crisscross across the stumps, plays it from outside leg, from outside off. He just plays it everywhere. He's a joy to watch. And obviously, to all our My 11 Circle players today, he was a joy if he was your pick in your fantasy. What am I saying? Of course he was a pick. Every time Joss Buttler's playing, he's your pick. He's just there. A problem area for England definitely is they've relied very heavily on the opening partnerships. They haven't got one in these 2 games. So in a way, they could also be looking and saying, all right, everyone's doing their job. We're just not getting the opening partnership. Once we get that, Bob's your uncle, we're home.
The question they need to ask is bringing on leg spinner hurting them?
Yeah.
Because all the other teams...
2 from 2.
all the other teams will be planning that. You know, pace on, they've been very good.
Yeah.
But now with spin on from one end, they've been facing problems. And teams are going to take note of this fact that they've lost early wicket when there was a spin being introduced. So most of the teams will be looking to do that. So that's something which another point which they'll have to figure out. That, okay, get in the nets, opening batsman, play the leg spinners.
You know what Roy and Besto are doing the next 3 days, right?
So that's the homework they've got. Apart from that, I think both the matches, you know, one thing which was similar was in the middle phase, the spinners been playing a vital role. And today also spinners had impact on the game, and that's where the game slowed down for England. And their approach of keeping the tempo up has hurt them a little bit. You know, when you've seen that little forceful shots by Stokes as well, you know, just trying to force the issue.
Yeah.
So that is something which they have to be watchful of, and teams will be looking to do that. When you know that this English team is going to go looking to be aggressive through and through, that certainly gives you that opportunity, and that's something which they have to figure out in terms of their planning, that if they want to keep the tempo, maybe they have to get someone like Moeen Ali up because he's good player of spin. So, you know, give him the license to go after the bowling in that middle phase, because the phase which he was batting at today, you know, in the last 10 overs, he's not cut out for that. You know, he might play some decent innings, but the percentage is not in his favor playing that phase of the game. So that's something maybe the think tank need to just, you know, get together and figure out. Maybe that might be option going forward as well for them.
Interesting. Well, okay. So who's England playing next, by the way? Because they're going to have this whole leg spin thing coming at them for the
You
openers.
can take it for granted that the rest of the tournament they'll have they'll have spinners coming.
Because they've got Bangladesh they're playing next.
Yep. Shakib
right?
will bowl to them. Sorry, Mehdi Hassan will probably bowl to them.
And then, of course, when they play against Afghanistan, it's going to be interesting.
What's that?
Mujib
would start,
Mujib anyways bowls that first.
Yeah,
inning.
anyway.
Yeah. So there you go. So these are the England games that are coming up. They're playing Bangladesh. Then they play West Indies. There's going to be no problem there, right?
No.
There's no leg spinner coming on to bowl to you.
That's going to be a batting game. Whoever bats better on that day is going to win.
But good news for England is they're playing in Cardiff.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot of help in the wicket. And that's what the first match suggested when New Zealand played there. So it was a nice green tinge to the surface, and the ball was doing a lot. You can, as a bowler, take heaps of advantage of that, get the ball up. So that's something which they'll be happy to see.
Just want to get your attention to the fact that till the 21st of June, right, they're playing Sri Lanka. After that, they want to make sure that they've got qualification pretty much stitched up over the next 4 games.
Yep.
Because their last 3 games are running into Australia, India and New Zealand, right?
Yep.
Which is going to be tight. You don't want to leave it to those 3 games to have to win 3 out of 3 to qualify, right? You don't want to leave it up till there. You don't want to leave the heavy lifting till the end. England.
Yeah, so the good thing is that this loss is going to give them a little bit of a wake-up call. You know, they've been tagged favourites in the tournament, and this would just kind of pinch them a little bit and make them switch on and kind of go into the next games with proper intent to win the game. It's not like they didn't have the intent today; it just kind of fell through towards the end. But I think they'll really wake up with this loss.
Yeah, well. Okay, so that's for England. Morgan, of course, the captain said that they were outfielded, and just to the point as Robbie was making, they gave up about 15-20 runs with just sort of sloppiness in the field. I mean, there was some great catching as well. England has shown that. They've shown some great, in terms of the stumpings or the outfield catches. Stokes the other day, Wokes today, but some other efforts were jokes. Just trying to rhyme it with Stokes, Wokes and jokes. It's late, man.
It's too late, bro.
It's late. We've been here. We've been here a long time. But for somebody on top of their game, I'm not right now, but somebody is on top of the game. They've decided to beat the expert. They tried to beat the expert, and they did beat the expert. Our My 11 Circle beat the expert champion is Ankit Gupta, 488 points. Well done. From West Bengal, so obviously a little extra motivation to beat Dada,
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have to beat the expert 5 times to be
be in contention to win that big
the big prize.
The big prize.
That's what you got to do.
Big prizes don't come easy.
Of course they don't. There's no free lunches, bro. Except when you're at Cricbuzz and I'm ordering.
And who's
Have a
paying?
look at
You ordering and who's paying?
somebody is. I don't know.
Gee.
Never check. Never check. Somebody is. I hope so. Unless we've just stopped paying for food now. All right. Let's look at tomorrow's game. Again, as I'm saying, no free lunches. Don't take no 2 points for guarantee, man. You can't. Afghanistan playing Sri Lanka in Cardiff. That's match number 7 tomorrow. And this, I'm quite looking forward to this game actually, because with Afghanistan, Afghanistan is just one of those teams. It's like never a dull moment, right?
Yeah.
Something exciting is just always about to happen, and does more often than not.
My money's on Afghanistan for tomorrow's game.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think they're gonna. I think if they bat well and they bowl to their potential, they're going to beat Sri Lanka.
They just got to play 50 overs. That's what their captain Gulbadin Naik has said, and it's quite an interesting quote. He says, I saw Sri Lanka play on TV. They have lost few games in the last 2 years and are struggling in ODIs. We have an opportunity to do well against them. If we can bat 50 overs, we can surely beat them. I like, Zach, you like that they're thinking like that. The point is, they haven't played too many proper cricketing, test playing nations, right? And especially with ODIs, they've been playing a lot of the associate nations. So sometimes just that ability to play 50 overs is something that you've got to inculcate in the minds of your batsmen.
See, with this team, one thing is for sure, it doesn't matter what the result is, they are going to give their best. And that's something which I always enjoy every time I see them play.
They play entertaining.
Will to win is there. They're trying hard to win. Even if they're not going to win, they know that they're playing against the strongest of opposition and their chance is very slim. they don't think like that, you know, and that's something, that approach
Yeah.
is something which I like. You know, they always want to get better at their game. They always want to learn, and that passion for the game and that drive is so visible. You know, so that's something which I always enjoy watching every time Afghanistan is playing.
I think it happens because with Afghanistan, especially being conflict-ridden for so many years, you can tell that cricket is more than a game. It means something to them. It's a vehicle of hope.
Yeah.
It's something that the youth look up to.
It is,
And it's definitely more than just winning or losing a game.
Yeah, it is.
Symbol of hope.
Yes, and with all that's happened in Afghanistan in the recent past, I think this is something that everyone in the world hopes for as well, right, for Afghanistan. And they play with that energy as well, you know, they're very entertaining, and they gung-ho about their chances in any game that they play.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some really exciting batsmen in that unit.
Yeah.
And for me, I think Zaza is someone that I really
Zazai, yeah.
Yeah, Zazai.
Let's have a look at the squad. There you go. There's where is he? Where is Zazai? Where is
Zaza is right on top, mate.
There he is. Sorry. I just went first.
Don't start from the bottom.
Yeah, that's my problem. I just conservative thinker, man. Just always start from the bottom. There he is, Hazratullah Zazai, right at the top there. Mohammad Shehzad copped a little bit of criticism behind the stumps, did he? From the commentator crew the other day.
Heard someone saying that he's put on weight. I just think that it's the jumper. He's always been a little big, but you know, he's always kept the way he's kept. Even in the last game, it wasn't very different
No, the
from how he
question is,
keeps.
when did he lose weight?
Yeah, he's always been the same.
He's just like that.
He's just been like that.
Remember, there was a guy, you know, I've really forgotten who was saying that and saying, oh, you can't have a stomach like that and be playing international cricket. I was like, well, the last time I saw a guy like that, he was holding up the World Cup trophy in '96.
Yep.
Yeah.
He most certainly was.
They do it. It works out, man. It works out. Let's have a look at just the squad again. See, the 4 blanked out names, of course, are the ones from the squad that didn't play the previous game. Do you see any changes happening, Zach?
I don't see any changes in that squad, playing 11. They will stick to that. Possibly there might be some changes in the batting order, or there should be, because just because of the conditions. You know, the conditions they are playing in, they just need to adapt to that. Maybe Shehzad can come in the middle order and look to attack. I mean, look to still play the same similar kind of game, because you saw when the ball is swinging around, you know, it's not really easy to just take that aggressive approach.
Yeah.
You know, you need someone solid there. So maybe that one option they can look for in their squad.
True, because he's not playing in Dehradun anymore.
Rahmat Shah at number 3 has looked good. So they've approached again against Australia as well. You know, they've had a good outing. They managed to put runs on board, even if those runs were not enough for that wicket. But I like the approach they had in the middle overs and the middle order, the kind of resilience they showed. So that's something which is always going to be the case with this Afghan team.
Yeah.
If they get to that 250, 270 score, they will trouble the opposition.
Yeah.
You know, with their bowling, provided there is little bit of help for the spinners, because that's been their strength. You know, those 30 overs of spin bowling, which Rashid, Nabi and Mujib are going to bring. That is going to be the crucial part. Gulbadin and Daulat, I think. You know?
Daulat. Yep.
Daulat has been playing that supporting role, but their main attacking option is always going to be the spin trio which they have.
Little surprised that they you know, Gulbadin and all the senior players spoke a lot about, especially Gulbadin spoke about, oh, Asghar Stanigza is our captain, so what if he's been dropped and stuff. Then he didn't play that game. I don't know, I didn't watch the beginning of it. I don't know if he was injured or something, or they just sat him out. I found just that to be strange. Maybe I just took it for granted that he is going to play after all the talk that happened in
He opens the innings,
captaincy.
Standing, sir?
Yeah?
No, he doesn't.
No, he
Asghar
does
Afghan?
not.
No. Bats at number 3.
He bats down the order.
But no, he bats in the middle order.
Middle order.
But 4, 5.
Yeah.
But was still surprised that he was not there. Also, we know Cardiff has bigger side boundaries. Right? The side boundaries are slightly, the front is shorter. And the side is more. Does that play to Afghanistan's advantage as a bowling unit? Does it play?
It depends on the surface. If the surface was like how it was in the last match played there, you need to get the ball up. Pitch in that test match kind of lengths, which had a lot of success for Henry as well. Matt Henry got wickets, you know, bowling in that area. There was a lot of help for the bowlers. So if the surface is going to provide a lot of help to the bowlers, then you have to play the conditions.
Yeah, and I also think Gulbadin Naib and Daulat Khan are unassumingly skiddy and they've got a little bit of zip behind the ball, and they were able to trouble David Warner in that last game. You know, they had to be very circumspect, the Australian opening batsmen. So you know, you can't. As I feel that they'd be, you know, very useful in Cardiff as well, because in those conditions. I don't know how much the spinners will trouble Sri Lankans, given all these mystery bowlers actually originate from Sri Lanka.
Yeah, true.
So you don't know how much they're going to be, you know, useful against them. But you know that Rashid Khan will go out there and even Arafi,
Mujib. Or Nabi.
Nabi's going to be very useful. You know that. You know, he's one of those, you know, the stock bowlers who's always going to do well for you. You know, because he bowls his undercutters really well. He gets the regular off spin to come out beautifully. So, you know, he's going to be an impressive bowler. You know, Rashid is going to go out there and bowl really well. Mujib is also, I think, searching for form. So he'll be looking to do well in tomorrow's game.
Let's have a look at the Sri Lanka squad real quick and see if they would make any changes. There you go. Gentlemen?
For me, I don't think they should make any changes within the 11, but I think Angelo Matthews should definitely bat up the order. He shouldn't be coming at number 6. It's too late, I think, for him to be batting at that number. Otherwise, everything looks good for me.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any of the 4 players who blanked out there are getting a look in there.
They need to spend more time. They need to spend more time in the wicket.
Yeah,
that's something which the batsmen, I'm sure, will be looking forward to do. You know, and an Afghanistan game, they would look at it that way only, that, you know, okay, we can take our time, get in, and then go after the bowling, because you have to play out the conditions as well. If I'm expecting there is going to be help in the wicket, and they have played one match which they've lost on the same surface, so they'll have a better idea in terms of planning how to go about their batting plans on that particular surface.
They'll also be thinking like Afghanistan, and let's bat 50 overs, right?
Yeah, for sure.
After the previous game.
Yeah, so I don't think they'll be worried too much about how much they're going to score, but I think if they look to bat 50 overs, given their potential, I think if they play to their potential and play 50 overs, they will get about 275 plus for sure.
Okay, well, we'll of course discuss this game a lot more tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. when we will be joining you on the show right here. But first, you can make your team. How do you make your team? Let's tell you, my11circle.com, that's where you go. Download the app, make a team, choose the game, and of course, beat Dada. Can you beat Dada? Can you do it? Well, that's all you have to do. Okay, so while keeping with the whole Bengal theme, we've moved from Dada to Joyda. Professor Bhattacharya, his question, which seemed like, because today has been really, it's the longest game that's been played out of the 6 so far.
No, yesterday was long as well, mate.
Well, it's not this long, was it?
Yeah, it was.
I think this broke. I think with the over rate, this one was longer.
No, we finished around the same time.
What time did you guys finish?
We finished. I left here about 12 or so.
12?
Yeah.
I'll take it further today because the party don't end early with me. Come on. Because yesterday Gautam's just a few years older than me, so that's why by 12 he needs to wrap up. We can keep going till 1 because I is a youth. Professor Bhattacharya's question, here it is. After that momentary lapse of reason, which I apologize for. Which cricketer playing in this tournament gets his nickname from a device invented by Hubert Booth, primarily because of his ability to clean up the lower order? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about? Come on, show us the answer. Here is the answer. It's Adil Rashid, known as the Hoover. There you go. At least I got that part right. I didn't know who the Hoover was, but I got the nickname right. So we got a winner, and we got a winner who's cleaned it out. Who's cleaned out? Joy Factor. Let's show you the name real quick. AB. Sheikh AB. Sheikh AB.
Sheikh AB.
Sheikh AB.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Sheikh AB. See, Shakiabi.
Sheikh AB.
Could be Shakiabi as well.
It's good to see a new name there.
Yeah, it's good to see a new name.
Like I hear that Crick Rohit's been there like every day.
For the longest time.
Yeah.
It's a defending champion. It's pretty much just defending champion. I don't know. Maybe today he's busy. Maybe he's gone out with Gautam Bhimani. I don't know. Maybe they are both partying. Yeah, could be that. I don't know. Well, we're going to have a party here tomorrow as well. That's going to be at 2:30. I know a lot of you out there are saying that it's been 8.5 hours. We've done so many shows and so many com boxes, and I haven't referenced the Liverpool win even once in the Champions League. That's because sometimes you're just so good that if you speak about it, it almost seems like you're being arrogant and you're gloating, and I didn't want to come across as that. So, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Want to be classy about it. Want to be classy about it. But I do want to sing a song to you. Let's talk about six, baby. Let's talk about you and me. That's all we have time for. We're going to go. Champions of Europe indeed. Thank you so much, Zaheer Khan. Thank you so much, Robin Uthappa. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to all of you for joining us through the day. Of course, we're here every day on the World Cup. And of course, when India is playing, we're here in Hindi as well. So that's all we have on My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. From me, Gaurav Kapur, diehard Liverpool fan. Ale, ale, ale. Good night.